بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back, my dear students, in today's English lesson. What are we going to do in this lesson? So today's lesson is going to be enrichment number 2. This is the second lesson of enrichments. We're done with unit 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Today's lesson is going to be the second one of enrichments. But before we start with this lesson, let's take a look at the previous homework. What were you asked to do and what did you do about it? So we were asked to write words, to use the words to write an affirmative and a negative sentences. Now, here we have Hussein, exercise, and at home. We have Hussein, exercise at the gym. One of them is going to be affirmative and the second one is going to be the negative. Let's take a look at the answer here. Hussein exercises at the gym. Hussein exercises. Here we added S to the verb. Why? Because it's a simple present. Here, Hussein, the pronoun of Hussein is he. We said for he, she, and it, we are adding S to the verb. Hussein exercises at the gym. Now, how about the negative form of this one? Hussein doesn't exercise at home. Now, let's take a look at the word exercise. Did we add S to the verb here? The word exercise? No, we didn't add it here because we already have the S in the word doesn't. Hussein doesn't exercise at home. Now, let's take a look. What are we going to do in this lesson? By the end of this lesson, you will be able to use adverbs of frequency and frequency expressions. So here we have adverbs of frequency and frequency expressions. And we are going to compare between pastime activities, then, before, and now. Let's take a look here. So look at the picture. What can you see in the picture? What are the things around the boy here? What are the tools that you can see? So let's answer this question. How often do you play video games? Looks like in this picture, the boy is using his tablet to play a video game. But the question, how often do you play video game? So what could be a possible answer for this? I play video games once a week. So once a week, it's a frequency expression. Once a week or twice a week or every day. All of these are frequency expressions because the question was how often? How often do you do that? Now, let's take a look here. We want to rewrite the sentences. We're going to replace the frequency expressions with what? With adverbs of frequency. Now we said frequency expressions like once a week, twice a week, every day, daily. All of these are frequency expressions. Now what are we going to do? We're rewriting the sentences. We're replacing the frequency expressions with adverbs of frequency. But what are adverbs of frequency? What are we going to write instead of the frequency expressions? We can use seldom, which means rarely, and often, sometimes, and usually. Now, let's take a look here. Let's read the first sentence and make the changes and rewrite the sentence. The first sentence here, Ahmed studies twice a week at his friend's house. Now, look at the boy in the picture. What is he doing? Looks like he's studying. He is studying, right? So this could be Ahmed. Ahmed studies twice a week. So the frequency expression here, it's twice a week. How are we going to replace twice a week with one of these adverbs? Which adverb is the suitable adverb? Ahmed often studies at his friend's house. Often studies at his friend's house. So it's not every day. So which one is suitable? Instead of twice a week, we chose often. The same meaning, but different. different words. One is a frequency expression and the other one it's adverb. Now, how about the second one? Hanan doesn't walk to school every day. So she's not walking to school every day. Maybe, what's kind of, where's the frequency expression here? She doesn't walk, she's not walking every day. Something she's not doing every day. So we're rewriting the sentence. We're changing doesn't walk to school every day with this. Hanan sometimes, but not every day, sometimes walks to school. Now let's take a look at the next one here. So here we have, I visit Riyadh once a year. I do this activity or I visit Riyadh once a year. Here, once a year, it's the frequency expression. So once a year, which adverb have the same meaning of once a year? I seldom visit Riyadh. So we're using the adverbs after the subject. I seldom visit Riyadh. Now, how about the next one here? Sarah paints with her friends almost every day. Almost every day. So this is a thing she's doing every day. So which adverb is the suitable adverb to change almost every day? We're changing almost every day with what? Let's take a look. Sarah usually paints with her friends. We changed it with the word usually. So now where is the place of seldom and usually? Seldom and usually are written after the subject. Now, let's take a look here. What do you see in the picture? You can see a school bus, right? But where is it? It looks like the school bus is not next to a school, right? So now what are we going to do? We are going to rewrite the sentences. Put the adverb of frequency in the correct place. So here in the sentence, we have the adverb and we have the sentence. So we're going to see where's the correct place to add this adverb in the sentence. So here is an example. We have usually between the brackets and the sentence. I drink a lot of coffee. I drink a lot of coffee. Where can we add the word usually? We're adding it after the subject. I usually drink a lot of coffee. Something I do almost every day. Now, let's take a look at this example, the next one here, the one that you're going to write. Now, I want you to think about it before I show you the answer. Here we have the word often, and the sentence is, we play at the gym. We play at the gym. Now, where's the correct place to add the word often? I'll show you this example here. We often play at the gym. We often play at the gym. So here we, it's the subject. We added the word often after the subject. We often play at the gym. Now, how about the next one? We have the word always, the adverb always, and the sentence is this. The bus is late for school. Just like the picture, the bus, it's not near the school. So it looks like the bus is late for school, right? But where are we going to add the word always? The bus is always late for school. The bus is always late for school. So here's the example. Now, let's take a look. We are also going to continue the same thing, but with these examples. So we have the word never, and we have they waste food. So here the subject is they, and the verb is waste. So they waste food. Where are we going to add the word never? Never. So it's going to look like this. They never waste food. They never waste food. We're adding it after the subject. Now, let's take a look at the word sometime. And where are we going to add it? To this question. It's not just a sentence, but here it's a question. What is the question? What do you do after studying? What do you do after studying? This is a question. Now, where are we going to add the word sometimes? So sometimes have different two cases. It's either before or after the verb. So here, the question is going to look like this. What do you sometimes do after studying? What do you sometimes do after studying? Now, what do you sometimes do after studying? So you can have different answers. Your answer is going to be different than your friend's answer and another person's answer. So a possible answer could be, I watch TV after studying, or I read books after studying. Something you do for a pastime activity, something you do in your free time. Now, let's take a look. We are going to compare between pastime then and now. We're going to answer these questions to help us, okay? So, what do you think pastime activities used to be like before, and what are some of the pastime activities that we have now that they didn't have before, people didn't have before? So, we're going to answer this. What were some of the pastime activities long time ago? And are pastime activities different now? This is a yes/no question. What do you think? Are they different now? So if it's different, what changed in these activities? We want to know what changed. And the last question here, what made the change? So it changed, and what made these changes? What's the reason? Now let's take a look. Here I did add a chart with old pastime activities and new pastime activities. Let's compare. Here we're listing the activities. Here we have the old pastime activities, like what? Like reading, writing stories or poems, cooking, and playing sports. So these are all pastime activities. Now, how about new pastime activities? Activities that people didn't have before. Like what? Playing video games, watching TV, creating films and videos. Also playing sports. Playing sports, it's a mutual activity. They did it before and they're still doing it now. People can have it as a pastime activity. Now, we can also do these activities. We can read, we can write, we can cook, and we can play sports. But now we can do all of these activities. But a long time ago, people couldn't do these activities. They couldn't play video games. Why? What is the reason? They couldn't watch TV. Why? Now, let's take a look at this text here with the reasons, okay? So, pastime, then and now. So, this is a writing text that we did include here the list of the activities, and we are comparing between the old pastime activities and the new pastime activities. Let's take a look. People have different preferences in how to spend their free time. People usually work all week and relax at the weekend. At the weekend, people can do their favorite pastime activities. Long time ago, people used to like reading books, writing stories or poems, playing sports, and painting. They usually do these activities only at the weekend. Nowadays, people have different kinds of pastime activities because of the change in technology. People like to play video games, watching TV, creating videos or graphic design, or creating videos or graphic designs, along with playing sports. Now, did you like this text of comparing the old pastime activities and the new ones? And what did they write here in the text? So I want you to pay attention to the colored words in this text. Here we have usually. What do we call the word usually? It's adverb of frequency. People usually work all week. So here the adverb usually, it's added after the word people. So it's after the subject, people. Now, here we have this word that I did change the color of it. Long time ago, people used to like reading. So what did they like? Do you remember the words of preferences that we did see before in the previous unit? I like reading. I prefer writing. What do we call these? Gerunds. So people used to like reading. It's read, the verb read, plus ing. But here it's like an object of this sentence. They liked reading. They like reading. It's a gerund. Now, how we also learned about another thing. Not only the gerunds, but also infinitives. Like what? People like to play. People like to play. To play here as if the words to play as if it's an object. Here, like reading, it's an object for the sentence. Also to play, it's an object for the sentence. So here we have it. Reading books, writing stories, playing sports, and painting. All of these are objects of these sentences. So here the gerunds, the verb plus ing, as if it's the object in these sentences. Now, let's take a look at the word because. Here we have the sentence. Nowadays, people have different kind of pastime activities because. What is the reason? Why did people long time ago had different activities than the activities we have now? Why didn't they play video games? Why didn't they create graphic designs and videos? So why didn't they do all of these things? Because of the change in technology. So because technology changed long time ago and from now, they didn't have these activities. But nowadays we have different activities. But nowadays we can do both of the activities. Like what? What is one mutual activity that people used to have before and we're still having it today? It's what? Playing sports. Is it only playing sports? It's not only playing sports. So reading, writing, playing sports, cooking, all of these are pastime activities that people used to have before and until now. So, what did we do in today's lesson? We used adverbs of frequency and frequency expressions. We did compare between pastime activities then and now. Now, for adverbs of frequency, what are some of the adverbs of frequency that we did take a look here in this lesson? So adverbs like what? Often, sometimes, usually, seldom. So all of these are examples. Now, I want you to think of an example to use the adverb seldom. So we're not using the word seldom very often, right? How often do you use the word seldom? Actually, we seldom use the word seldom. So this is an example. But what is the meaning of seldom? Means rarely. In the example before, I did show you the sentence. I rarely visit Riyadh, or I seldom visit Riyadh. For the sentence, I visit Riyadh once a year. I don't do it very often. I don't usually do it. So, what also another adverb? Well, we had the word sometimes and often. So often for we can change often for an frequency expression. What was it? So we had adverbs and frequency expressions. So frequency expressions to answer the question, how often do you do it? How often do you play video games? So we are going to use a frequency expression to answer this question. How often do you play video games? I play video games twice a week, or 3 times a week, or every day, daily. All of these are frequency expressions. Now, what else did we do? We did compare between pastime activities then and now. did people long time ago had the same activities, the pastime activities we have nowadays? Now, I mentioned before the reason. Can you think about another reason? So we can have different reasons, but the reason that was in the text was what? The change of technology. This is the reason, because of the change in technology. Now, what are we going to do? What are you going to do for your homework? For your homework, I want you to write about your favorite pastime activity and answer these questions. So these questions are going to help you to write these pastime activities. First one, what is your favorite pastime activity? You can have different answer. So the way you're going to answer this homework is going to be different than your friend's answer, than your other friend's answer. Here, there is no right or wrong, because all of the answers can be correct. So, what is your favorite pastime activity? Name the pastime activity. And what do you need for this activity? For example, if you're writing about painting, what do you need for painting? What are the tools that you need for painting? And what are the skills that you need for painting? Now, for the skills, do you remember what are you going to use? I know how to, okay? If you're using painting, I know how to paint. Or if you're using cooking, I know how to cook. If you're using graphic designing, I know how to design. So I know how to describe the skill that you have to perform this pastime activity. And the last question, how do you do it? So if you're painting, how are you going to paint? What are you going to do? If you're cooking, so what are some of the recipes that you like? And what are the ingredients? What are the steps to create this recipe? Now, do you remember before in the steps of creating the recipes? In recipes, you were asked to write the ingredients, the quantity of the ingredients, and the steps. For the steps, do you remember the words that we used at the beginning of the sentences? First, we something something. You can write the sentence. First, next, then, after that, and finally. So here you can have, after answering these questions, you can have different texts. And we're going to show you an example. This is your activity for, this is your home learning activity. And thank you, my dear students.